Yeah, so light, 2 lights, 3 lights.
We've got 3 lights, 4 lights.
5 lights. And lights out, here we go!
Duck, go, found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. Can't get loose, get your guts, got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand, are you numb yet? I can go, I can take medication. Morning night, I can deal with everything. Every night, I can make it legal. And that's what you
Who is gonna win the feature race here in Australia?
Lord Gamer, if he can get the traction down, is gonna come P1 after spinning under safety car. A brilliant performance from Lord Gamer.
Get on your knees, apologize please.
Welcome back everyone to another video here at TTM Motorsport. It's that time of the week again. It's top 10 moments. This week we had some clips from Spain, some clips from Australia, some esports clips from France. So let's get right into it. At number 10 we have Kung Fu Powton versus Wong Don. On board with Kung Fu here. Coming into the pits during the safety car, we got Wong Don ahead, going quite slow. Kung Fu switched on, overtakes him in the pit lane, and makes a move up into second place there. On to number 9, we have Furby in the house versus FRT Lostmiss and Formula Acos from our France esports race. Furby gets a brilliant start, already past FRT Lostmiss, and then gets squeezed off onto the right hand side. Almost going side by side with Mitch there, and making up 2 positions there to make it a TTM 1-2 at the start of the French GP. On to number 8, we have Jake WBA versus Bradley Johnson 2 here in Australia in the wet. You can see Jake WBA, who we're on board with now, looking around the outside, almost loses the rear end then, but then gets better traction than Bradley out of the corner, able to go around the outside of this swooping right-hander and makes the move up into P9. On to number 7, we have Coles versus Jabolski at Australia from our Tier 3 race. On board with Coles here, looking to go around the outside of Jabolski. There is a quite big tyre difference here, but Coles manages to get the traction around the outside of turn 3 and make the move up into P5 behind Small Hands. On to number 6, we have Super Jelly Dog versus Colts Keeper from our Tier 2 race. Colts Keeper getting a brilliant run down the main straight, overtaking Super Jelly Dog into turn 1, but Super Jelly Dog is going to take his time, sort of gets a little bit of a switch back here, almost, or I think gets slightly better traction out or through turn 3, using that ERS you can see, trying to get him down into turn 4, doesn't quite have the speed, but then Colts goes wide and Super Jelly Dog is able to retain his P7 in the Spanish Grand Prix. On to number 5, we have Huku versus CRL Jill from our F2 Australia race. Jill ahead, battling with Smithy, but as you see, Huku's going to get a better run through the penultimate corner and then round the final corner, gets good traction and keeps it around the outside of CRL Jill. Extends the track a little bit there, but we'll give it to him because that was quite an impressive move. On to number 4 now, we have Jake WBA once again versus Smithlers? I don't really know how to pronounce that, but on board with Jake here. In the place that we saw his overtake earlier, not quite as close coming into this tricky right-hander, but he gets much better run through it and then gets squeezed up against the wall, just manages to find his way through and up into P9 he goes in the first of the 2 races that the F2 drivers have. On to number 3, we have TTM Rally versus FRT Surfy from an esports event in Australia. As we see on board with Rally here, fighting over P7, FRT Surfy ahead, has the corner into turn 3, but Rally gets an excellent switchback, which is then going to turn into turn 4, and he goes right around the outside, keeping that grip, and manages to just make the move up into P7. On to number 2, just missing out on first place, we have Son Pikachu versus Little Daz in Australia in the wet, coming up to the quick left-right hander. Sompichu brakes later, gets good traction around the outside, keeps it around the outside, and just manages to get the position ahead into P7. Runs quite wide there, but keeps the position ahead of Little Daz. What an excellent move there around the outside. Never see that, especially in the wet. And finally, onto our top place. We have Lord Gamer, Heatwave, and Shady versus quite a few other drivers. On board with Shady here to start things off. We've got Adler and Squish ahead, having a little battle. Shady's going to switch back both of them and get past the Ferrari and McLaren. But now, jumping on board with Heatwave, we've got Timmy, Squish, and Captain Duck all ahead, battling over P8 around the final corner. Heatwave gets past Timmy, then cuts to the inside to try and get past the Ferrari and the other AlphaTauri, but doesn't quite have a straight line speed, so it's just dragged down to the first corner. See who can come ahead. He's made the position past Squish, and then Captain Duck has the position into turn 1, but through turn 2 he gets a bit unsettled by those curbs, and Heatwave is able to go around the outside and move up 3 places there in the matter of 1 straight. And then as we cut back, we see the battle that we've just watched, and the racing point at the back of this, Lord Gamer, the eventual winner of the Spanish Grand Prix, is looking to get involved in the action as well. As he switches back, goes around the outside of Timmy, and when he gets Squish as well, he goes down the inside of Squish and makes up 2 positions there in the matter of 2 corners. Can't quite make it the 3 like Heatwave did, but excellent driving there from all of the North American drivers there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to keep up to date with all the stuff, with all the content that we produce here. Hope you're all doing well, and we'll see you next time.